Hey grade 9s, we're going to work on some rate of change and plotting points today. So, a little warm up. It says Sarah took 4 minutes to roller rate 800 meters. How fast is she going? So, if she travels 800 meters in only 4 minutes, we're going to divide those to find her meters per minute. So, we're going to take 800 and divide by 4. And we're going to get 200 meters per minute. That's really fast. So what did we find here? We found what we call her speed or her rate of change. So how is her distance changing over time? The independent variable, so what she can control is her time. She can control what the time when it starts and when it ends, and it depends. The dependent variable depends on the time, and that's her meters. So it says fill in the table below, and then we're going to plot the points on the grid like we did before. So if she travels 0 times, she'll travel 0 meters. If she travels 1 minute, then we know it's going to be 200 meters per minute. So we know that this one will be 200. If it's 2 minutes, will be 400. 3 minutes is 600, and 4 minutes is 800, and that's what we were given right at the top. Then we're asked to plot these points on a graph. So hopefully you can see what these turn into. So her time along the bottom will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll even put 5 on there because I have space. Notice I'm skipping 1. And then we'll have 0 on the side and skip 1, 2, 3, 400. Oops, that should be a 4. 6, 800, and I'll even put in 1,000 there so we can extrapolate if we wanted to go on past that. Okay, so then we put our points on. We have 0, 0, we have 1 and 200, 2 and 4, 3 and 6, 4 and 800. And when I connect those dots, we get a nice straight line. Use a ruler. I can't use one on here, but use a ruler. We get a nice straight line. So we know when it's a straight line, it's going to be linear. So that's a good word to know. The word line is right in the word linear. We know it makes a straight line. So it says the next one says, at the same speed, how far could she travel in 6 minutes? So we're going to extrapolate, look beyond. And I have 5 here. So 6 would be just outside. So I should have made my grid a little bit bigger. When I go up and hit this, we know that we go across and we're going to see 1,200 there. So that's going to be 1,200 meters, 1,200 meters. And what's her distance at 2.5? So remember, when we're looking beyond, that's extrapolate. And now this one is at 2.5. So in between, this one's going to be interpolate. Okay, so we're going to look at 2.5. So here's 2 minutes there and 3, so I'm going to look at a half, and that should be 500 right there, 500 meters. Okay, next. Here we go. So we're going to talk about a Cartesian plane. A Cartesian plane looks like this. It has 2 axes, but now you can see we have some negative numbers in here. And they're negative, just like a number line going horizontally. Notice we have -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on going that way. And then the vertical one is kind of like a thermometer. The negatives going down lower and lower and lower as we go towards the bottom. Okay, so we have a horizontal number line and a vertical number line. We call these axes on a grid. And so this is what we call a Cartesian plane. I think that is going to ask us in a minute near the bottom here. So let's go ahead and fill this in. So it says the axes divide the plane into 4 regions. Can you see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 regions? We're going to call those quadrants. Okay. The horizontal number line is called the x-axis. We should know this already. And the vertical is the y-axis. The x-axis gets the independent variables, and the y-axis gets the dependent variables. The x and y meets at a point called the origin. So that's right here in the center. So right here we have the center of the origin, and it's going to have coordinates of 0, 0. The person who developed this is called Rene Descartes, and that's why it's going to be called a Cartesian plane. So when we're graphing points, you're going to see them as an ordered pair. We were just taking them out of a table before, but as our ordered pair, we have x first, then y. That's what it's showing us right here. So x first, then y. That means so from the center, so I'm going back up to my little grid, I'm going to the right 1, 2, 3, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right up here. So this would be the point 3, 5, way at the top. Okay, and we're counting the grid lines, not the spaces. So 3 was the x and 5 was the y. Okay, next we're going to plot these points on the Cartesian plane. I'm going to do these ones here with you. We'll plot A and C and then find the points for E and G, and then maybe you can go ahead and you will do these. Okay, so us, and then this one is just you. Okay, so plotting on, oh, we should make sure we're fully labeled here. So I'm going to put an arrow and a Y, arrow and X to remind myself what's what. So A is going to be at 2. So starting at the center, we're going to go over 1, 2. So I'm counting the line, and then I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So right on the very top line. So that we're going to label point A. Then we're going to do point C. We'll go -5. So again, starting from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's -2, so that means down, 1, 2. So there is point C. So you can go ahead and do B and D. Then we want to label what the coordinates for E and G are. So E, if I start from the center, I'm going to go to the right 1, 2, 3 first. So 3 to the right. And then I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So 3 down, so -3. So x first, then y. So E is at +3, -3. Okay? Next, we're going to do G, and then you can do F and H on your own. So for G, I'm going to start at the center, and I'm going to go left first, because I do the x-axis first. I go 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4 for the x, and I'm not going to go up or down. I already landed on G here. So 0 for the y. So G is at -4 and 0. Okay, so we're counting the lines, not the spaces. So next we're going to look at, so that's how we plot points, but next we're going to look at what we call our rate of change, or how we calculate it. Rate of change is how steep a line is, and we also refer to it as a slope. The vertical distance, so vertical means up and down, we're going to call the rise, and the horizontal distance is the run. So if I want to get from one point to the next on my line and talk about how steep this line is, I'm going to rise, and then I'm going to run and figure out a number for the slope. Okay, so here's our formula we're going to use rise divided by run. So let's do that on the next page. Okay, so we have some line segments given here. It's asking for the rate of change of AB, the slope of AB. So I'm going to find, here's my line labeled AB, and even though the A is first, we're going to start on the point that's most to the left. It's like reading a book. So we're going to go from B to A. We're going to rise, and then we're going to run. So I'm going to rise up 1, 2, 3. So we'll say M equals 3. And then we're going to run 1, 2 until we land on the A. So there's my rate of change. My slope is 3/2, or what we can just say is 1.5. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. So now we're going to look at CD. So I want to get from the point on the left all the way to the point on the right. So I want to rise first, but in order to rise, I have to go in a negative direction. So I'm going to rise in a -1, and I'm going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a rate of change, or a slope, of -1/4 or -0.25. Okay, next we're going E to F. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going down 5 and over 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 4. So we can say a decimal is -1.25. You can leave that as a fraction too, that's fine. The last one, we're going G to H. So this time we're going up, so it's not going to be a negative. It's going to be up 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 4 and over 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4/4 equals 1. So the slope is 1. So we're going to take a look at our calculations and we're going to make some conclusions about what a slope looks like if for negative or positive. So a positive slope, so the ones that were positive were these guys here. Let's take a look. We had this one and this one. So these guys were going positive. So we're going to say they go up to the right. Okay, and negative were these ones. These two were negative, and if we take a look how they go from left to right, they go down to the right. Okay, then we're going to talk about which ones are steeper. So the ones that had the bigger slope. So bigger slope equals steeper line. Okay. The last two we have here is we're looking for the slopes of these two lines. We're finding slope of A to B. So from A to B, I don't have to rise anything because B is on the same line. So I'm going to rise 0, and I'm going to run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 0 over 7, or 0 divided by anything, that just gives 0. And the other one over here, we have to rise from C to D. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So down 7. But I don't need to run at all to get to D. So this one has a special name, and it's called undefined. Okay? And that is the last one there that we're going to do. So hopefully you see how we can find our slopes. And on the last page, we'll take a look here. On our last page, I want you to find the slopes of each of these line segments. So this is part of your homework. So you'll submit all the work that you have done, and then you'll finish these ones. So this is question number 1. You're going between the 2 points I've indicated, and you write down what your slope is there. Between these 2 points, and you write down what the slope is. Between these 2 points, and find the slope. Remember, slope is going to be rise over run. And if you go down for a rise, then it is negative. Don't forget that. Okay? And that is it. Take care.